thing working. How's everybody today?
I'm awesome. How about you?
I'm doing great. Doing great.
Still pushing buttons.
I know. Very much. Very much so. One of us has to do it.
Yep. It's a dirty job.
It's a dirty job.
Yep.
So we take turns. That's pretty cool. We so love being here every day now. Telling you the good stuff.
Just talking to you.
Just talking to you.
I love
to
to
each
talk.
other. It's fun.
Yeah, you know me. I love to talk.
I do too. A lot. We talk a lot. But what we're going to do tonight is continue with the border.
Always.
Yeah.
Because this is our biggest threat. I'm telling you, I think this is the biggest threat our country faces is the border, this wide open border.
Yeah, me too. And with the Iowa caucuses going on today, we need to really pay attention to signal, not noise. We all know that what's going on up there in Iowa, the weather is terrible right now. It's like minus 40 degrees there.
Right.
You know, so everybody get out and caucus.
All the media traveled to the event, but they're
Every
going to
one of them.
But they're going to do their best to tell you to stay home.
I know. Stay out of the weather. But they're all there. Every one of them. And boy, are they gaslighting you everywhere.
Don't go out. 'Cause you might get cold and cast a vote for President Trump. Don't go out.
Don't get out. Especially you little old ladies. They keep talking about that. They keep saying, oh, these old people, they're not going to be able to get out and drive. They can't do that.
They didn't care about the old people when they arrested them for trespassing the Capitol.
No. Or when they put them all into the nursing homes and all that.
Yeah.
And, you know, during COVID.
Yeah.
You know, but now all of a sudden they're the important ones.
But anyway, let's get serious, I guess, because the border is important. That's probably, I'm telling y'all,
important.
probably one of the most important things that we've had in our lifetimes. And in my opinion, I think this is probably a lot more important than any war we got going on.
But that is our war inside America at this point.
It is. Yes, it is.
Yeah. It's different factions, warring factions, Republicans and Democrats.
Yeah.
Against each other. And, you know, this has been a talking point for many years.
Yeah.
The border. It's always been about the border. And the more the Republicans wanted to secure the border, the more the Democrats don't.
Exactly.
You know, so it's like we have to do opposite of the other on all things.
Polarization.
Polarization. Well, that's what's happened to our border. We have polarized it with politics.
Yeah.
And not just that.
And
but what's going on?
Dirty money.
Yeah. And dirty money, but what's going on there and what is leading to in other countries.
Oops. Yeah, that's true. That is true. I had to oops over here, got banged that around, made a bunch of noise.
That's okay.
Yeah.
We're still settling in.
But we
got
are
us a cup of
settling
coffee.
And you know, I guess here we are. I'm bringing up, you know, the Texas border again, and I kind of want to clarify my earlier statement. You know, I think I said in the last episode that I supported what was going on at the border, you know, and if any of you listen to me for any length of time, then you're probably going, but wait a minute, even a week before that, you were fussing about Greg Abbott, busing people all over the country. And so I wanted to take just a couple seconds here to kind of clarify that. I think even it was in the last episode, I said that I supported what was going on with our state's effort at the border now. And what I want to clarify is the fact that what we know about what went on there at El Paso at Shelby Park. So to kind of recap what happened last week, the Texas National Guard and the state troopers, they sealed Shelby Park in El Paso with razor wire and fencing, and they basically preventing the U.S. Border Patrol from accessing a 2.5-mile stretch of the Rio Grande and Eagle Pass. So according to a court filing by the Justice Department, which has been going after Abbott on a number of his migrant deterrent policies, the park has a boat ramp that the Border Patrol agents routinely use to launch their river patrols. And this is also a staging area at a park that agents use to inspect migrants who have been apprehended, quote unquote, apprehended nearby. So Abbott's new efforts to stop this surge of illegal migrant crossings at the border received criticism from federal officials after apparently a woman and 2 children drowned in the Rio Grande River on Eagle Pass Friday night. And I want to bring out that I support the fact that what they're doing there because it's like I said, if you want to come over here, then Texas needs to make it as less welcoming and less incentivized as possible. And I think by him doing this and standing up to the federal government now and cutting their access off and the migrants' access off to these areas, which makes it harder for them to do over there, which makes it better for the state. And I support that. I'm still not in support of him busing people all over the country. Like I've said before, maybe once or twice to make a point. But if you think about this now, maybe we can go back to this later, but let's keep moving forward, I guess.
Okay.
For now. Yeah.
Well, let's do that. I'm going to refer back to the statement that you made, and you were talking about the children, the adult and 2 children that drowned.
Yes.
In the park.
Yes.
Shelby Park in Eagle Pass.
Uh-huh.
Okay, now where that came from is Congressman Henry
Cuellar.
Yeah, he put out a statement. The 28th district. This was on the 13th. He said, "I recently learned that 3 migrants, a female adult and two children, drowned in the Rio Grande River near Shelby Park in Eagle Pass. Oh, Border Patrol learned on Friday, January 12th, at approximately 9 p.m. that a group of 6 migrants were in distress as they attempted to cross the Rio Grande River. Border Patrol attempted to contact the Texas Military Department, the Texas National Guard, and DPS command post by telephone to relay the information." Then he continues on. Well, on that same day, Governor Abbott comes out with a statement. And his full statement right here reads, "The Texas Military Department is aware of a social media post concerning the drownings of 3 migrants. TMD was contacted by Border Patrol at approximately 9 p.m. in reference to a migrant distress situation. TMD had a unit in the vicinity of the boat ramp and actively searched the river with lights and night vision goggles. No migrants were observed whatsoever." End quote. So what is going on here?
Exactly.
Is this just them putting out a bad narrative?
Propaganda.
For Governor Abbott, look what they've done over here.
Sure.
They're killing the migrants by securing the border. Even though Mexico is the one that's supposed to take care of those on that side of the border, not on our side of the border, not before that line.
Right. It would be safe to say then that at least their part of the liability over there in Mexico would be to say to them, hey, this river's dangerous. You could die if you cross this river. Don't cross this river. And then if they do that.
Yes.
Yeah. I get that.
If they know already that they could die when they cross the river. So
Right.
why would it even be anybody else's fault but their own?
I get that. That's what I'm talking about.
Because that's a just pretty dangerous situation all the way around. But there's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of noise in the background. But one thing I will tell you, that it is happening all over the place here in Texas. We have a video that we have ready for you, and we're going to let you hear the first 2 minutes of it. This is what's happening in San Antonio, Texas.
You got to give me a trespass warning
right now. That's your warning.
So, guys, I am currently at the Migrant Center in San Antonio, Texas, where NGOs are facilitating human smuggling of migrants into America. If you look right here, you actually have a San Antonio Police Department car watching as a lookout, basically guarding this area. They're taking side contracts in relations to these NGOs actually being paid a significant amount to guard this area. And I'll walk down here just to show you this even more. They're in their official San Antonio PD uniforms to top it off, with their San Antonio PD cars as well. Just to give you a little background.
Sure, because it's only going to add credibility if they're in their uniform.
That's right.
Yeah, man.
So they're actually gaslighting the people of San Antonio.
Yes, they
by
are.
saying that they're the police out there protecting them, when they're NGOs, not actually doing police work.
Smuggling people. Smuggling
here
people.
in Texas. This is going on.
Yep. Let's continue on with what he's mentioning here.
Real quick.
Are you guys on duty right now?
This is an extra job for us.
So are you being contracted by the NGOs then?
Why did you tell him just to say no? So you guys are being contracted by the NGOs?
None of your business. No comment.
It's none of my business. You're San Antonio police, but you're being contracted and paid by NGOs. You're being paid time and a half?
No comment.
No comment? But you did confirm you're not on duty. This is a side job for you. So you are being paid by the NGOs. Do you think that's a conflict of interest at all?
This has got to be
I think
a problem.
It's not true. I think
Is
it's
it illegal?
criminal. This has got to be criminal.
You know,
No,
when are
it's
they
not
gonna-
really criminal, but
when are they
it
gonna
is a
get-
conflict of interest.
But think about it. When are they going to get rid of these NGOs?
Never.
When is that going to finally become an illegal thing to do?
Never.
You know, because I believe that we should push for them to get rid of them, because this is the problem
That's
we're
the deep
having
state.
right
That's
now.
part of the deep state. They're never
And
going
they
to get rid of
They
them.
get to just pick and choose who they're going to pay to do
Right.
criminal activities like human smuggling.
We were talking about job numbers the other day. Me and you were just sitting here discussing it, and you pointed that out. That out of the job numbers, what was like 50% or 25%?
25%
25%
of all jobs created in December were government jobs.
NGOs. I guarantee you.
Yeah.
So,
Crazy.
so not only do we know that Abbott is smuggling people across the up to Chicago and
Illinois. Well, Chicago, Illinois, New York.
New
That's
York,
what I meant
yeah,
to say.
and other places, and
Yeah. Illinois' governor begs Texas Governor Abbott to stop sending illegals to his state. Please, please stop, he says. It's too cold. It's too cold for them here.
Yep. So now we see all of this in this context and in this order. You've got our federal government pushing them across the border. You've got Abbott putting them on buses and busing them to other cities. You've got the San Antonio Police Department working off duty for the NGOs that help facilitate the smuggling of these people. It begs the question, what is the true purpose of this?
That's the question we need to try to answer. We need to come up with it. Now, I did a little research, and I went to this website, this Pew Research, which, you know, I used it because everyone used the Pew reviews. So here we go. What are the partisan and ideological differences on the immigration policies? What do you think's the difference? You know, one wants, let's see, about 9 in 10 Republicans and Republican-leaning independents, 91% are all in for increasing security along the U.S. border. And Democrats are only 59%. Now, see, I don't understand why Democrats don't want a secure border as well.
Well, there's got to be good reasons why.
Well, you would think.
Voting rights,
Yeah.
or voting demographics, I should say. Voting demographics is one reason. They want to flood these areas with people that they believe are going to be Democrat voters in these big Democrat cities. Worker supply, based on what they call the shortage of workers. That's another reason they're wanting them to cross the border.
Which they keep saying there's shortage of workers, but there's plenty of workers. It's
There
just
are.
that they don't want to pay them enough.
That's right, based on their...
But yeah, because they want to bring in people from other countries, and
Because they'll work cheaper, a cheaper
they'll work
workforce.
cheaper, and they'll bring it down how much we make.
Right. And that's what I was going to say. You know, a cheaper workforce that stagnates the wages. That
Right.
throws another blow to the middle class. That throws another blow to our economy because now wages are stagnant. That means, it just means bad stuff, man.
And that's what gets me about this, because on the one hand, the Democrats are like, we need to make more money. Let's give the people more money. Let's do minimum wage, $25. But let's bring in all of these people from other countries to actually make the people that they're swearing they're going to give $25 to not get the $25 because they lower the minimum wage.
Yeah. Can we get a little conspiratorial here, or
Sure.
can we get a little? I want to get to a more direct question, because just like what we've talked about, and these are reasons that we know of that the mainstream media feeds us. as to why, and the government feeds us as to why allowing more and more and more people into our country is a good thing.
Well, for one, they're running out of people that trust the government.
Yes, that's it. So there, and when I say a conspiratorial side of it, and we know that more and more and more people don't trust our government, what are they really bringing these people in for? Here is my thinking on this: a cheaper workforce, right?
Yes.
They want a cheaper workforce. Most of the time, that cheaper workforce is farming, vegetable picking, harvesting, apples, oranges, beets, potatoes, all of those kind of things. Well, who do we know has run over here and bought up a bunch of farmland?
Oh, well, that was a big headline yesterday all over the news.
Exactly.
China.
So who do you think is going to gather up a lot of that cheap workforce? These are my opinions and my scenarios that could possibly happen.
China.
Yes. China.
Yes.
They're going to have this cheaper workforce for things like that. Like I say, for farming, roads and bridges. We've already seen news reports of cities hiring them for law enforcement.
Yes.
And, hear me out,
Okay.
coal mines.
I believe that they're
Coal
going to put
mines.
them anywhere.
The energy sector.
Yes.
The energy sector.
But they really want
pipelines.
them to. They really want them to be making batteries, and since Americans, in quotations, are griping about batteries are being made in China or elsewhere, they're going to bring China here to America. This is my conspiracy theory:
Yeah.
to make the batteries in America. That is my conspiracy.
But they need the lithium. Well, we have lithium fields.
Yeah.
My thing was with the human smuggling and why it's so important, and this is why they won't close the border, is because of the human smuggling. If we look at it in the criminal context and that kind of thing, because honestly, our government has really proven to us that they're nothing more than a group of criminals.
Yeah.
So I have to look
You
at
cannot
it.
trust the government.
Exactly. So I have to look at it in this light. So my scenario, why they're bringing them over here, is for the cheaper workforce to work on Chinese farmland that the Chinese have come over here and bought massive amounts of. They're going to take them into our energy sector. They're going to put them in the coal mines, and then the others that they've brought across the border, if they don't fit into any of those, what do you think they could easily do with them then? Load them up and send them to the Congo, to the cobalt mines over there to help work over there. I mean,
So,
and there's so many
and
corrupt
there's-
scenarios that it could be. And I believe probably I'm at least 75% right without nothing but an opinion based on facts and news reports and stories that I've read.
And I agree with you on this last point that you were making here. We were just talking about that Freedom movie,
Yeah, the Sound of
the
Freedom.
Sound of Freedom movie.
Yep.
And the way they could do that is by disappearing them.
Yes.
Bringing them into America,
Yes.
and then they just disappear
Yep.
into these other countries and they never seen again.
Yep.
I mean, this is, once again, I'm going to say it again. It's a humanitarian crisis, and we need to stand up.
And an invasion.
And an
It's
invasion
a
of every
twofold
country.
thing. Yes.
Yes, and you're not doing these people any favors. By throwing them out wherever you want them. You're playing games with people's lives.
Yes.
It's a humanitarian crisis,
Yes. Yes, it is.
and it's sickening. And
Yes,
we
it
need
is.
to rise up.
Is this thing working? Well, hey, everybody, that's it for today. Thanks for listening, and I hope you've enjoyed the show. Hope you've learned some things about what's going on around us in the nation and in your communities. We couldn't do this without your continued support either. We appreciate all of you showing up, taking the time to listen to us today. So please, like I say, make sure to hit the like button, share our show with all your friends. We'll see you next time on Is This Thing Working? And as always, I'm James, and that's my lovely co-host over there.
Denise,
And we'll see you next time.
we're out.